This video is about the realizations of socializing with AuDHD. We have just got back from a week in Cyprus. It was gorgeous. We went to a wedding while we were there. Leading up to the wedding, my autism took over because I knew we had to be there for a certain time, and obviously we can't be late for a wedding. So I'd already planned in my head what time I would, everyone would need to get a shower at, what time I would need to start doing my hair, my makeup. I'd steamed my dress in advance. Everyone had got the clothes ready in advance, and it was all planned out. So on the day of the wedding, I did all that, and I was so relieved to stick to that, because that's something that gives me major anxiety, getting somewhere on time, because I struggle with time a lot. So I have been late a lot in the past. Anyway, we were all ready on time. We got a taxi to the hotel where the wedding was. We got there on time. It was all good. When we went into the hotel, so obviously it's really hot in Cyprus, it's been in the 30s all week. We got to the hotel, it was all air conditioned inside, that's great. But then everyone started going outside to chat by the bar. And although it wasn't in the direct sunlight, it was so hot. And I was thinking, why are people doing this? We're all dressed up. I don't want to sweat. When I'm in the heat, I need to be in water. I love the sun. It's, we need it for life. It's good and everything. Obviously, be sensible in it and everything. But I can handle being hot on holiday if I've got water to go in. But if I've not got water to go in, I don't want to be hot. So anyway, we ended up finding that there was an air-conditioned room that was for the wedding guests. So we went and sat in there. And there's a lot of waiting around in weddings, especially when people are getting married abroad. So we were in this air-conditioned room, people got drinks, and all the guests started coming in, and that was fine. Then we went to the ceremony. It was outside under a canopy. It was beautiful. It was lovely. It was so nice. And although the canopy covered all of our heads, where we were sat, the sun was coming in from the side, and we were sweating. We were given handheld paper fans and everything, which was really nice. The ceremony was quite quick, but it was really uncomfortable sitting there sweating, and you're all dressed up, you don't want to sweat your makeup. And I was thinking, we haven't got I didn't put any sun lotion on because it makes you really sticky, and I didn't want that if I wasn't able to go in water. So there was that concern of being too hot. We didn't want to burn, didn't want to sweat my makeup off, didn't want my hair to go frizzy, and there was a lot of sensory issues involved. But when the ceremony was over, it was quicker than a typical ceremony in the UK, I would say. We went to this other little area, and it was lovely. It was decorated for the wedding. It had all the tables. It was under a massive canopy, and there was couches outside around tables, and there was air conditioned tables inside. Everyone automatically went and sat on the couches outside, and although we weren't in direct sunlight, it was so hot. It was so hot, and when you're sitting down next to people as well, it makes you even hotter. I was sat there thinking, I can't sit like this. I feel so uncomfortable. And nobody else seemed that bothered by the heat. And I do know that obviously neurodivergent people, we do have trouble regulating our temperature. So I'm guessing it was probably something to do with that. But I ended up having to stand up. I stood up for absolutely ages in front of a fan because I just couldn't sit there sweating and being too hot. I felt claustrophobic and stuff. Later on, we had the meal and the speeches, and it was lovely. And here's the thing about weddings. I don't drink alcohol, and I haven't for nearly 7 years, but I love dancing at weddings, and it's something that I really look forward to. It's a way for me to release my ADHD hyperactivity, and if the music is good, I could dance all night at a wedding. So I was really looking forward to that part. So I just want to add as well, the wedding was one of my husband's friends, and obviously his wife now. And although I know them, I'm not really close with them. So I'm really grateful that we were invited. It was a gorgeous wedding, but I didn't know many people at the wedding. I knew a couple of people. So when it came around that the DJ started, at first, you know what it's like at weddings, people don't dance at first, and as people get more drunk they start to dance. But when people were dancing, it was just a couple of people, and it was people that I didn't know. Back in the day when I drank, if I was drunk I would have just gone and danced with them, but I can't do that sober. Like, I'm not an extroverted person. I can dance with people I know, and no one I knew wanted to dance. Like, I couldn't force my daughters to dance. They're neurodivergent too, and so no one wanted to dance. And my ADHD urge to dance, I think, like, dancing for me is like it's like a way of stimming almost. So things like that help me to move my body and get energy out. Like, I love fairgrounds dancing. Even singing I feel like is stimming for me. But yeah, so I had this urge to dance, and then when I realised that no one was going to dance and everyone was just sat on these couches, and by this time it had got cooler because it was like the evening, I thought, are we just sitting on these couches all night? Is that what we're doing? And that is when the autism kicked in big time. I just became really I had loads of sensory issues. Everything felt too loud. I felt really unsociable, and I was just like, I would just want to add, at the beginning of the wedding, like when we were first going there, I felt quite balanced, like between ADHD and autism. And in the back of my mind, I had that ADHD urge to dance in my head. But then once I realised it wasn't happening, the autism kicked in. I was sat there thinking, is this what we're doing? We're just sitting on a couch all night. And a lot of the people there where I didn't necessarily, I had a little chat with a few people and stuff, but I didn't know what to talk about. I felt awkward. We were going home the next day as well. We had things to do. I just felt completely overwhelmed by all the noises, and obviously through the day we'd been sweating. It was hot, and even though it had cooled down, the autism well and truly kicked into I wasn't making eye contact with anyone. I just didn't want to speak. And then I do realise I probably might have looked like really moody, and that wasn't my intention. And I was very grateful to be there. Like, it was a lovely wedding, but it's just made me so aware of my reactions within socialising, having AuDHD. I can now feel when the ADHD is going into the autism or vice versa. I can feel when I'm balanced. I can feel those changes, and it's like I know when I need to go. So can you feel this when you're socialising? If you have AuDHD, or if you have autism alone or ADHD alone, can you feel when the changes are happening? Because I never used to be able to. Now I can, and although I'm grateful that I can feel these changes and it helps me to advocate for myself, I also felt quite lonely at that wedding. I felt like there was obviously a lot of neurotypical people were able to just have conversations and laugh about loads of stuff, and I was thinking that wasn't funny. And I just didn't get it. I didn't get why it was funny, and it made me feel quite lonely, because it just made me feel like it's so difficult to socialise unless it's in an environment that I've kind of controlled to an extent, like, something I know I'm going to love, and with people I know I can talk to and things like that. Do you experience this as well? Because I found it really difficult, and it made me feel quite emotional actually when we got back to our villa. Thank you so much for watching this. If you found value in it, would you mind liking this video? And if you like my other videos, please subscribe as well. I am really grateful, and it helps the algorithm to get my channel out to other neurodivergent people.